Dr. Menhotob Amin, and from the Economic and Social Studies Center, please have the mic. Dr. Ahmed is about to leave, so please let's summarize. I thank you, of course, for your this very kind invitation for the agency. This is a comment. I think that I want this video of Netanyahu to go all around Egypt, across Egypt, from Alexandria to Aswan, to work as a catalyst, so that we can, lit this competitive jealousy. We want to ignite this. Yeah, of course, we were very, it's not enough to be stressed and to be sad about the video. What's really more positive is that if people see this video, I think this will be very positive effect. It is on the YouTube. The problem is not whether people would see it or not. I am a Christian Copt, but there is a verse in Quran saying that God does not change people unless people change themselves. It's not only the government. I differ with you. It's all of us. So I agree with engineer Iman. Gives the same meaning, which is we are living here in isolated silos. Even in the CAPMES, where I am working, we have 12 floors. Each floor have 4 or 5 departments. Nobody knows what the other one is doing. This is a problem in Egypt. The third problem that we suffer, or I'm the director of economic researches, this culture of teamwork. I don't think we have it. It's me or only me or the highway, like they said. Dr. Magdi Yaqub, Professor Magdi Yaqub, they never mentioned I or me. They are a team. I hope this would be streamlined in Egypt. I hope, like you exactly, Mr. Abderrazak Shwaifi. Please have the mic. My question is directed to Dr. Khalid. Very simple. Can we expect that in the next period in Egypt we'll have knowledge banks? That's a question. Another question for Dr. Ahmed. Are we in need of partnership between the private sector and the research centers in the different universities? Can the the private sector do that? Can they shoulder this responsibility? No, listen. Miss Soher Konsua. In 2015, I was requested to translate the strategic national in the scientific research in engineering subjects 2015-2020, and that was in Arabic in 2012. In 2018, we are now in 2018. I doubt, or I don't know, that they received the finance for implementation, and definitely this was a fascinating, mesmerizing strategy concerning advancement. I think that the financing problem is the basic problem, because priorities always go to initiative of immediate results. They are always preferred among executives, maybe, and this is not a good thing at all. Number three, I don't know if there is any linkage between demand and supply. Demand of the research and the research itself, they are all working separately. Of course, agriculture and other departments, they are related to research centers, but about priorities, I don't know. As to the other point concerning the internet and the electronics and information technology, it's very widespread in Egypt, maybe more than any other advanced countries, but the usage is not optimum. Thank you. I think I can't hear the speaker. Let him have the mic, please, close. لا أستطيع سماع المتحدث لأنه لا يستخدم الميكروفون. If anyone is listening, have him just get closer to the mic. My question here is completely off the mic, so apologize. لا أسمع تماما، لا أسمع إطلاقا المتحدث، فأعتذر عن الترجمة. For the second time, kindly have the speaker use the mic for interpretation, because he's completely off the mic. I can't hear him. Cannot hear the speaker because he is not using the mic, so I apologize, or have him just come closer to the mic. برجاء أن يقترب المتحدث من الميكروفون حتى أستطيع الترجمة. صوته غير مسموع، أراه فقط على الشاشة. What you can say now, which I can overhear with difficulty, is that we should not be talking about long-hanging fruits. We need something long-term. Stopping again. Can't hear him. No voice at all. هناك خطة من 5 إلى أستطيع سماعه الآن من 5 إلى 10 سنوات يجب أن نقوم بتحديد where we should have the different players determined and put our plans forward for execution. أنا برضه حابة أعلق على موضوع الشراكة بين الشركات والجامعات. هو الحقيقة هو أصلا طلب من الشركات البروجرامية. Actually, it was requested that the major companies would engage with the research centers in universities. The point is, it has nothing to do with demand and supply. What really stops that, or is a stumbling block, is the sort of the policies do not really pay attention to the innovation results, and therefore there were certain systems for that, but the law itself or the policy itself, it does have a lot of gaps, would really trigger people who are innovative or students who are innovative. They should be, of course, given attention, but there are no legislations to organize this point. But this is very much requested and demanded, and it's activated in Ain Shams University, for example, and the Faculty of Engineering in a very good way. And a lot of the innovations that we have highlighted in precision or IT or other examples, all these we have, as we said, everything. But there are certain legislations. and policies. The soil requirements is there, but also it has the IPR abroad. So yes, companies need that, and they cooperate with universities who can customize the methodology and use it among institutions, companies, and other research centers. But other universities, I agree, it's individualistic approach. So institutional approach should take over the law of IPR, the legislation. All these things should be paid attention to. A comment here. Is there any relation to the need for the research and the institution undertaking this research? Yes, there are R&D in companies, but there are R&D for application. This is not a bad thing, unless as long as there is development. However, we need applied R&D. I hope I will say I will say again that yes, the country is full of innovators. These are not cliches, this is real, but there are no ways to show their innovations because they prefer simply and in plain terms to register the IPR abroad for many reasons mentioned by Dr. Abla. I met a lot of people, like you said, for example, the 3G printer with I-1500. I had a lot of experience with similar innovation. They couldn't even register. They got me the registration. They got me the inventions, and they couldn't register. There's no slot. So they would register it as wooden equipment or whatever. Some of the youth express that people abroad or companies abroad want their innovations, and that's the way it goes. This is the venue. We need this to change. The first ABC in developing innovation is to have a methodology and mechanism that keep intact the right of individual and the right of the state and facilitates relationship between the private sector and university. And legislation should also be customized, or else we'll reach a dead end. We'll have innovations but registered abroad with IPR. Dr. Ahmed Dr. Ahmed will have to leave, and before giving the mic to Dr. Khaled, I want to comment
on the research centers as they are, as you have mentioned, the story that. Sorry, I cannot hear the speaker. There is a problem, and this problem is translated into a research point. And there are some other body who translate this item. I need another translator to translate from the research centers into the academic center because both of them speaks two different languages. If we achieve this communications, I will do this thing. They will. They will correlate with the promotions, with the ages. I totally object this thing because in our strategy 2030, I have to relate with the innovation. I have to correlate between the promotions and the innovation, and this is a golden opportunity to move forward. So this story needs a lot of stuff. The floor is yours, Mr. Frankly speaking, I'd like to tell two situations. The first one, in the United Arab Emirates, they have a very important slogan, which is that if you have a new thing that has not applied yet, I am ready to apply it for you. Here in Egypt, the the primary thing is that where you have applied this before. So the first thing is that if I want to apply something new, he asked me if I have applied it, so it will be not up to date. But if I have something innovative and I am the one who innovates it, it must it must not be applied before. The second point is the government sets policies, develop mechanisms. So if I don't have the trust in myself and to apply what I am innovating, so the story will come into veil. In the United States, there is not product come out of the United States unless it has been applied inside the United States, the borders of the United States, encouraging it, and then it has some reference, and then it will be applied outside the countries. Here in Egypt, we are thinking the vice versa. You asked me where you have applied this item before, and if you are Egyptian, so it will be a big problem, it will a catastrophe, it will a very complicated situation. I personally undergo this story within very severe wars in order to make the one who takes the decision. This is an Egyptian item. There is no something hidden. It is very clear. No, no, no. Please give me something experimented, made by the foreigner person. It is a principle that if you work a lot, you commit some mistakes, a lot of mistakes, so you will be fired, and if you did nothing, so you will have the promotion soon. So if I don't have the trust in what I innovate and the policy of my state does not incentivize me, so it is obligatory that if something innovated here in Egypt, I have to apply it in Egypt, so I will contribute to the corruption. So I will not. I cut it short. Then I will conclude with two parts. The first point is that the depression you have got through my video. No, not at all. Netanyahu has make a very interesting marketing policy using using numbers, using figures. He has translated it into figures. He does not talk about any industries, any sectors. He just talks about R&D. So because the ideology of Netanyahu is built on the less the weight, the more the value, because all his ages moves from one thing to the other. He does not expertise in the heavy industry. He's just thinking of the almond, the R&D, the pharmaceutical industries, but he does not have very heavy industries. This is not his ideology. So please don't make he makes some kind of arrogance statements talking about the GDPs, figures including that he does not have any hidden economy. It is not the story like Egypt. We are here. You have achieved $285 million, and 80% of your economy is hidden. The last point is that the Bank of Information. I have just heard of this thing in Egypt. If you mean the Bank of Information correlated with the internet, so I will have any knowledge I wanted to have. If you are mean the big data, no, you are very far. You are very far on this story, because you here in Egypt we are living in scattering. There is no cluster gathering all this stuff. You know, your question is that the United States has the ability to know from the scattered informations on how Iran can smuggle wars, and in which Marines, through the scattered information, they have gathered and convened all the information through these marine lines and the products fabricated and manufactured in China, and through analyzing this information, they have got the lines of smuggling from Iran, from China, Iran and then Hezbollah, and then they seized the boats. Through how? Through the big data, which is a very huge information, and then analyzing them, and then it comes to the very innocent enough, but maybe. Thank you. Now it's time. Last point is that the subject is to achieve the good thing in the institutions itself. Egypt has full of very innovative persons and cadres, but we don't have the institutionalized framework, and then we are getting back. And so we are belated compared to the other countries. The second point is that if anyone who is very poor, I cannot ask him to innovate, because there is an important point, which is the poor people. For sure, and for the millions of time, we have to recheck and revise the priorities on investment. The investment in the human resources is very important compared to investment on the material resources. Also, the IPR law is very solvent. 10 years ago, while you are discussing Mr. Hisham Ragib, he himself does not have the answer. Why? There is no systems for the IPR law. Also, we need to have a system for the promotions in order to foster what you have mentioned, Mr. Amna Mahatab. Why you are talking about me, about myself, about mine, as Tarazan, as Alauddin, but if you are correlated with the performance of the teamwork, they have to work together. They have to work in the teamwork. Also, while we are adopting the budget of the programs, then they have set a specific program working through various ministries, so there is no one achieve the higher hand on the other ministry. So the gathering of different various cannot find the win-win situations. We have abused on using this mechanism. Also, we wanted to solve this problem on the short run, but what about the long run? We do nothing. In the framework of a very practical through the CSE, Mr. Ala, I have decided you will help us. It is a must for you to help us. We will set a framework, and let me say that we have declared through a previous conference, we have achieved some kind of partnership with an institution from Morocco. We are achieving a big seminar in entrepreneurship. It will be held in October 2019, side by side with other partners. The idea is that to implement what we are thinking of together, not in Egypt, all over across Egypt, not only in Cairo or in AUC. I will bring the talents, and it will be a group of initiatives and a group of events, and I think it will be preceded by some kind of competition regarding the competition in our definition. Innovation is that what anything that achieves an added value in any sector. It has nothing to do with the wealth of the person, either he is poor or rich, but the idea we will foster and will help in achieving it, and we will take a very effective steps. So we are very keen on entrepreneurship and innovation, and I think at the end of the day, I am very optimistic because I have trust these people, which are our, yes, this is the one and the only reason for being optimistic, and maybe I was pessimistic in my beginning of the speech. Thank you so million for all of you, and let's so.